Look, Stewie, don't you think at some point you're gonna have to let Rupert go? I mean, you are getting a little old to have a teddy bear.
Brian, I'm one.
Still? What?
In season 1 of Family Guy, in the 5th episode, A Hero Sits Next Door, Peter Griffin and Joe Swanson meet each other for the very first time. Joe quickly becomes a welcomed member of Peter's friend group, to the point where you simply can't imagine the cartoon without him. Despite the episodes where he just doesn't appear, I guess. In season 11, Save the Clam, the bar that these characters go to is in danger of closing down, and Quagmire says this.
Yeah, we got roots here. We've been coming to this place for 15 years.
And maybe Peter and Quagmire have, but this really got me thinking. What about Joe? If Family Guy is a cartoon where none of the characters age, it's implied that all of the events of the series happened within the same year or a few couple of months. And in that case, Peter and Joe have only known each other for a year or two or less. But that's the thing. Do Family Guy characters age? And if so, how long ago did Peter meet Joe? I guess we internalize that they don't age because the designs don't change, but that doesn't mean anything. So join me for however long this video is as I try to figure this out. Bitch ass niggas complaining about how long the intro is in 3, 2...
Suck my dick!
You're a bit of reek, Lucy's.
Today's video is actually brought to you by Babbel. Spring is a time to refocus, clear out the cobwebs, and make moves to become your best self. If learning a new language has anything to do with one of those goals, now is the perfect time to make it a reality. So that's why I'm encouraging y'all to take the first step with Babbel. One of the most beautiful animated movies I've ever seen in my entire life is Chico and Rita. While I adore it, I'll admit that my reading skills aren't really necessarily the best, and since it's not in English, it made my watching experience a little overwhelming trying to keep up with the subtitles. Same thing happened when my roommate tried to show me Lahane. Man, I have a nasty palate. But with Babbel, I could just learn Spanish or French. Babbel is scientifically proven to help you start speaking a new language in 3 weeks with lessons designed by real language teachers. Babbel teaches real-world conversation. Lessons prepare you to have practical conversations about travel, business, relationships, and more. This will never happen to you again.
Où est la hotel Poubelle?
It's just around the corner.
Oh, around the corner,
You better talk about it, bruh. Just click the link in the description to get 60% off your subscription with Babbel. Just click the link in the description to get 60% off your subscription with Babbel.
Why does it take 3 minutes for the fucking video to start? Hey guys, the video starts at...
There's 2 characters in the show who age the most, those being Brian and Meg. It's to be assumed at least that Brian is 7 years old when the series starts, I guess. But at the same time, the first time we hear his age is in season 7's The Man with Two Brians, where Lois says that he's 8 years old.
He jumped into that lake to try and save your life, and he's 8 years old, Peter. 8! That's 56 in human years.
Brian's last age update was as late as last year, in season 20's Cootie and the Blowhard, where we learned at his birthday party that he's 10 years old. And I'm also pretty sure that that implies that we just didn't see his 9th birthday unless I missed something. Which, you know, isn't unlikely. Meg, I feel like, is the more interesting one. Between seasons 1 and 4, Meg is anywhere between 15 and 16. I'm leaning more towards 16 because in I Never Met the Dead Man, Peter teaches her how to drive. A quick Google search tells you that the age that you can have your permit in Rhode Island is 16, and that's episode 2. So even if she is 15 at one point, that shit just happens for like 1 episode. In season 5's Peter's Two Dads, she turns 17, which is actually directly said by her.
I'm gonna be 17, you jerks!
In season 10's nasty ass, fucking disgusting ass episode Quagmire and Meg, Meg turns 18. That's what the plot is about or whatever. I reanimated part of it.
Meg, I'm only gonna say this once. You may be an adult, but you're still my daughter. And it's my job to protect you from errant wieners. So I don't care how old you are, you're gonna do what I say and get in the damn car!
This is what I'm doing with my time, instead of giving you niggas a Static Shock video. These are the only 2 times ages are actually said. But season 18's Better Off Meg has it being her birthday as a plot point. It's revealed in a gag, but it's also part of the story. No age is said in the episode. In fact, they do this dumbass gag that got a chuckle out of me the first time I saw it. But if we're counting it, that would make Meg 19, saying that she's aged at least 3 years since the show started. Also in season 19, there's Meg Goes to College. And guess what the hell she does in that one? Gets dunked on by her dad.
Dunked on by my dad?
Oh! You gotta get big, Meg.
I know they like to play with the timeline, but this episode was 2 years ago. And until literally this fucking week, Meg has not been seen in high school since, despite us never seeing a graduation. But like I said in last week's Single White Dad, Peter drops both Chris and Meg off at Adam West High. It's worth noting that there's a quick gag in season 14's Papa Has a Rollin' Son, where no one shows up to Meg's birthday party, but I'm hesitant to really count this one. Just a few scenes before, they say that it's Father's Day, which is in June, but Meg's birthday is actually in March, so it doesn't really add up. Every once in a while during these videos, I remember that college education that my mother spent all this money on for me to get, only for me to grow up and talk about shit like this for work. I'm not exactly sure how old Chris is when the show starts, but I do know that he's at least 14 by season 4's Jungle Love, because that's when he starts his freshman year of high school. And at the top of season 20's Peter Schmidt Manor, he says he's 15.
Hi, I'm a 15-year-old wild card.
Well, let's get you a gun already.
Stewie is more of a headcanon thing for me because they only ever say that he's 1 in like that clip that I showed at the start of the video, but I've been telling myself that he's a toddler in recent years, mainly because around seasons 18 or 19, there became this clear focus on Stewie being in preschool and gaining a nemesis who is dead now, I guess?
Oh, and Doug died in a commuter plane crash this morning.
Admittedly, Peter and Lois are where it gets a little less fun. In the Tan episode from season 5, Lois says that Peter is 43.
You're 43 and you just assaulted our neighbor's child.
Which I'm pretty sure is the first time we hear his age. In season 2's Let's Go to the Hop, Peter and Lois have this exchange.
Thank you for ruining my life. You don't remember what it's like to be my age.
I'm 2 years younger than you.
Putting Lois at 41 at this point, which doesn't exactly track because I'm pretty sure they're both 18 in Meet the Quagmires, but whatever.
Could you let me go back in time and be 18 again?
Wow, 18-year-old Lois. Son of a bitch.
In Underage Peter from season 14, Adam West says that Peter is 42. Pushing him back a year.
And if we can't trust a 42-year-old man to drink responsibly, then I have no choice but to take action.
Then there's a cutaway a whole year later in Peter's Lost Youth, where he claims to be 58, but whatever, it's just a cutaway, I guess.
Peter, what the hell did you do to the house?
I know, it seems pretty lame until you realize I'm 58.
However, 5 years after that, in The Jersey Boar, he says that he's 45.
Why are you at half-mast?
I'm 45, Joe. That's full mast.
Only for it to be reconfirmed last week in Single White Dad.
But you're a beautiful woman. You can do better than a 44-year-old morbidly obese guy.
At the end of season 11's Lois Comes Out of Her Shell, Lois says,
Peter, I'm 43.
Get out of this house.
After celebrating a birthday earlier in the episode. And she has another birthday in season 17's regarding Carter, but they never specify an age at that time. So the only way that 2-year apart thing from season 2 could work is if we actively ignore this one, since it would make her 44, and we heard Peter literally last week say that he was 45.
He's lying! He's lying!
And it's not Family Guy directly, I guess you can kind of call this one like a little bonus, but one of the first things that I thought about with this is the pilot to the Cleveland show, which practically starts out like a Family Guy episode.
What the hell? He's getting his own show?
Any Family Guy fan from the time can remember scrunching their faces all the way to fuck up when they learned that this is how Cleveland Jr. looked, because we knew Cleveland Jr. already, and this was him.
Daddy, we got one! Daddy, we got one! Ha ha ha! Fat boy smelled the hot dog. Couldn't help it. We're right in. Ha 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 ha!
A hyper-energetic kid meant to contrast with the slow-spoken, slow-paced Cleveland. But at the top of the Cleveland show, they pretty much directly tell us that he's aged.
I also got custody of Cleveland Jr.
What is he, 14 years old now?
Yep.
We learn now that he's 14. I'm pretty sure this is his updated age. I don't think we ever had a set age for the original Cleveland Jr. but I've always headcanoned him to be around like 9 or 10 around that time. I'm pretty sure there's other characters with birthdays and everything too.
You guys are sharing a room? You're adults.
I'm not paying full price for a room.
Have some self-respect. You're 40.
But I definitely felt like these were the most interesting. So to answer my question at the top, I guess, how long ago did Peter meet Joe? However long the writers feel like that day. It could have been last week, it could have been last year, it could have been last decade. Who knows? I'd be shocked if they actually gave a shit about this, because if they do, they damn sure got a funny way of showing it, because none of this shit makes any sense. All in all though, there's a small layer of consistency. Chris is definitely an early teenager, and Meg is always just a few years older. Stewie is always exceptionally younger than everyone, and Peter and Lois are always in their 40s. All I know for sure is that Bonnie was definitely pregnant for 6 years, and nobody called the hospital.
Okay, first of all, Bonnie, you've been pregnant for like 6 years, all right? Either have the baby or don't.
Yeah, but
That put him in real jail.
Kind of.